Hey, hi students. Today we'll start our fifth part of political parties. Okay. So earlier in our first four lectures, we talked about some national political parties. Then we saw the relation between political parties and election commission, isn't it? So now onwards, we will talk about the state parties in this. Okay. So this is the fifth lecture of political parties. So there is a very interesting history behind all these political parties. That's why we have expanded this lesson. Okay. So I hope you are enjoying. So let's begin. The state parties. These are commonly referred to as a regional parties. As you know, what is the criteria to be called as a state party? Yet these parties need not be regional in their ideology or outlook. Some of these parties are all India parties that happen to have succeeded only in some states. Okay, because in only some states it is accepted. Parties like the Samajwadi Party, Samta, Rashtriya Janata Dal have national level political organization with units in several states. Some of these parties like Biju Janata Dal, Sikkim Democratic Front and Mizo and National Front are conscious about their state identity. If you see states here, Biju Janata Dal, then Sikkim Democratic Front and Mizo National Front. So all these people, they are fighting to retain their identity. Okay, so of course it is just related to their state. How the Maharashtrian people they will fight means they will keep that ideology which our eastern states have, isn't it? So completely their ideology is completely bound to their states. These political parties they represent Indian diversity national parties to form alliance. Okay, so sometimes if we discuss about it, you can find that there are hundreds of political parties in India, state parties. So there can be a question: doesn't it lead to a mess? There can be a chaos, isn't it? But actually, when we think about India, the country like India, we need these many political parties because many times I have told you that we have diversity. A lot of diversity is there in our India. If we want to adjust and accommodate all this diversity, then we need more and more political parties to adjust these ideologies. Okay, so to represent this very variety of India, we need more and more political parties. So what does this political party do? Because for example, let's take example of Sikkim Democratic Front. This ideology is just limited to Sikkim. Then definitely they will not get power in center, isn't it? Because their ideology is just limited to their state. All other states, the people of other states, they will not support them. So what happens here? These political parties, state parties, they form an alliance with other political parties to form government. Clear? So almost all state parties once part of government in central government. Okay, whichever political parties we have, state political parties in India, almost all of them once at least they were the part of the government, means they formed the government. Okay, so it is very important to strengthen our federalism and democracy. These many variety, this much variety in our political parties is very important to retain the spirit of democracy. Clear? Next, here you can see the map. Okay, so you can observe it afterwards. In many states, which state parties are there, regional parties in India that have been given. Okay, so we'll see about Maharashtra only. Here Shiv Sena is there. Okay, so in this way many political parties are there, you can see. And this is the record of 2007, means almost 12 years are passed now. Now challenges to political parties, very important topic it is. Means though this political party they come to the power, then they run the government, okay, they run the country, okay, but still these political parties they have some challenges. Which are those challenges? Let's talk about it. So first challenge is lack of internal democracy. Means in that political party there is a concentration of power in few hands. There are few prominent faces of this political party, and because of them, other common leaders, those who don't have that much contact, their voice is suppressed. They have to follow whatever their leader says. There is no regular internal elections, okay, or means, and sometimes it happens that uh, when the people or the political leaders of other political parties, they form an alliance with these parties. When they come, first they come for the ideology, but afterwards they realize that the concentration of the power is held by 1 2 3 4 hands. So sometimes the loyalty goes to the person, not to the principle. Okay, so in this way you can see that because of this internal democracy, people, they are more worried about the persons, not the ideology. Okay, so this is sometimes it happens that personal loyalty to the leader becomes more important. Okay, so this is the first problem, lack of internal democracy. Second problem is dynastic succession, means the power is handed over generation to generation. Other political leaders, though they have the talent or a merit, they are very excellent in politics, very statesmanship they have, but still, because of this dynastic succession, they don't get it, because the power is handed generation to generation. So in this, what the second threat of this, what is the problem, means if the power is held by only one family, then definitely those who are in contact with them or those who are in relation with them, they will definitely favor them, isn't it? And when they will favor them, it means that these people, those who are in relation with these political parties, you can find them in many government jobs or at many important places or in many contracts. So this is the problem with dynastic succession. And ordinary person, he never rises up. He never can think about becoming prime minister, isn't it? So this is the dynastic succession. So if you want to get the example of dynastic succession, that you can see in Congress. Earlier it was, means still it is going on, as you know very well. Okay, so earlier, first of all, Motilal Nehru, then Jawaharlal Nehru, then Indira Gandhi, after Indira Gandhi, Rajiv Gandhi, then after Rajiv Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi, and after Sonia Gandhi, now Rahul Gandhi. So almost every time these faces were kept in front of the people as a prime minister. Others are not getting chance. Definitely Manmohan Singh came, that was the, but at that time people gave vote to Sonia Gandhi. He was elected as a prime minister, that is different thing. So you can see the best example of this dynastic succession. Whether the leader is fit for that or not, it is not considered. Let's take example of Rajiv Gandhi. He was never fit as a statesman, as a political leader. On his place, he was very clever person. He was intelligent person, sure. But in terms of politics, he was a never good political person. Okay, so this is the second threat to political parties, that is dynastic succession. Then third threat is role of money and muscle power. Okay, so what is the role of money and muscle in the power that we'll say? See what happens many times, the leaders, they are threatened, or they are by many businessmen or the traders, they were given money for their election campaign. That's why these rich people sometimes influence the policies of the government, because by money they help the government. This is money power. And second is muscle power, those who are dons, or we can say terrorists. Okay, these people using their muscle power, they terrorize the government, they influence the government, and the decisions are taken as per their convenience. Okay, because for fulfilling the self interest of these people, they have to, government has to take the decision. So what happens many times, these money man or the muscle man, They want that this political leader should win the election. That's why they follow unfair practices in election. They find shortcuts to win election. Okay, for example, mobilizing the booths or terrorizing the voters or using executives for their election campaign in this way. Okay, and many times, second, that is nomination of rich candidates only. How much popular the person is, how much principled he is, it is not seen in politics always. Many times only his money it can be seen, because can he purchase the votes? Okay, can he distribute the money to the people for purchasing their votes? Definitely it's an illegal practice, but can he do so? That's why people think that there should be a rich man. Okay, so many times nomination of rich candidates only. Then these rich and criminals influence the policies sometimes. Okay, chalo, fine. So this is the third example, third threat. You can see here one example, Berlusconi puppet theater. Here he was a very rich person from Italy. Okay, and here you can see he was a owner of a big factory, a big company, and then he had his own channel. He purchased it, own channel, and on that channel he was definitely he was talking about his political party, and all other political leaders, they were just influenced by him. Okay, so from this picture you will come to know what exactly they want to say. Now, next is fourth threat for the political parties, that is no meaningful choice. Many times it happens that the voters, they are not offered good choice of political leaders to vote, because if you talk about Britain, then you can see there are only two prominent political parties, Conservative and Labour Party. From only those two political parties you have to choose, because if you give your vote to other political party, there is no possibility that those political parties will win, because these two political parties are prominent. As we have discussed about two party system, other parties are there, they will win some seats, but they can't run the government, they will not be prime minister. Okay, so they don't have many choices. So these political parties, they agree on fundamental aspects, but how the way of implementation of the policies, that will be different. So their fundamental principles, course, it is completely similar almost, but only the way of implementation is different in London, in England. Okay, but if you talk about India, it is completely different, isn't it? If you talk about India, Congress, CPI and BJP, you can see there is a complete different ideology, these completely different ideologies. Okay, so, and again in this only there is second problem. What happens if people elect someone as their leader, and if he is not in majority or he doesn't get any department, okay, in that political party, then what he will do, he will change his political party. Let me give you one example. Just imagine that in 2014, now BJP won election, means 2019 or 14, BJP won election and Congress lost. So many congressmen, when they didn't get any department because they lost, they will go to BJP. Okay, definitely by the government it is banned now, but still this is the chance, these people change the party and they go to other political parties. So in our Marathi and Hindi, there is very nice word for them, Ayaram and Gayaram. They come and go. Okay, so these people, they keep changing the political parties. Earlier it was, now we have made the rule for that, not to change this. So here you can see one party system. Okay, here Senate is that political party, House is also that, President is also from that party, Supreme Court and everything from that party only. Okay, only one party, there are no other choices. Okay, next, here you can see the picture, it is given in our book. So this election commissioner, he's asking this political leader, if you are this much rich, then why you are applying for the election? Why do you want to contest election? Means, does it suggest that people contest the election for earning money? Think about it. Now we'll talk about this, how the parties can be reformed. We talked about the problems. Now let's talk about the solutions. Okay, so here you can see election commission tries to discipline these people. Okay, but sometimes it is very difficult for election commission also to discipline them. Okay, so electoral discipline is not our cup of tea. Of course it is not, because whatever the rules and regulations are there in code of conduct, it is doubtful whether do they follow it or not. Okay, chalo, fine. Now government has made some laws for the reformation in for this demo to create the democracy in political parties. In our constitution, first of all, there should be no defection or will lose seat in legislature. Our constitution says that if any political party loses the election, then from that political party nobody can change the party, and he cannot come to other political party which won the elections. It will not happen. Before election you can change your political party, but after election, when the election is over and which party is winner, it is declared, you can't change your party. This is called defection. When one political party, when one political leader, he changes his political party to gain the department in other political party, this is called defection. So there should be no defection, and if he does so, then he will lose his seat in legislature. That constitution says. What Supreme Court has brought to stop this? When these people contest election, they have to submit affidavit which gives the details of property and pending criminal cases that they have to give. But of course they've submitted, but whether it is correct or wrong, it is not checked. There are no checks on this. That's another problem. Next, third, what election commission does on this to maintain this democracy in political party? There should be organizational election and file income tax returns of parties. Means in that political party itself, there should be election. Which kind of election? There should be, means who will be the head, who will be the secretary. Okay, so these elections should be conducted in the party, and then this political party, they have to submit their income tax returns. Okay, so these are laws, and now in this slide we will see some suggestions. These are not laws, but we can think about it, that can this be brought or not. First, a law to regulate internal affairs. Internal affairs means of political party. Then there should be a register of its members. How many members are there, who came from outside, who went from inside, and they should follow their own constitution. Every political party should have their own constitution about their ideology. Okay, and this constitution will act as a judge when there is a party disputes. Okay, so this can be a one suggestion. Second, every political party, they should give the tickets to women, almost 1/3, and there should be a quota for women in decision making. Okay, means only tickets are giving, they also contested the election, they also won, but they are not taken as a granted. They are taken as a granted, means they will not be taken into cabinet ministry. Okay, then third suggestion, election expenses should be given by state. Okay, means the government will provide these political parties all these facilities to contest the election. Means more than that they can't use, that is in terms of petrol, paper, telephone, etc. So this can be some suggestion for the reformation of party. Okay, and here the last point of our lesson, 2 ways to reform political parties. One, people can put pressure on political parties. So when these people after 5 years they will go to them to ask for the votes. Then by putting the pressure on these political leaders, people can bring the change in political parties. That is the first way. If political parties feel that they would lose public support by not taking up reforms, they would become more serious about reforms. So for this, the people should be educated, not only academically, but they should be educated about their surrounding also, what changes are taking place in their surrounding. Okay. And second way, political parties, they themselves have to bring some changes. The quality of democracy depends on the degree of public participation. It is difficult to reform politics if ordinary citizens do not take part in it and simply criticize it from the outside. What we do always, isn't it? We are always criticizing the politics, but we never want to go to the politics, isn't it? So, in this way, you can see the good people, they should join the political parties. Then it is a possible. Okay. So, here we'll stop and we'll move forward. This lesson is over. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.